Welcome to the Texas Go Radio Show. I'm your host, Matorius. This is part 3 of the 1765 live stream by Owen Benjamin.
Now, Moonjaz is legitimately a solid guy. I've been enjoying him for literally years. Okay, USDA loans USDA loans, no down payment. USDA loans, no down payment. Let's see what we got going on here. This sounds like a mess. I want to buy a home. That's all it says in a giant button. This is made for dumb people. USDA loans for rural and suburban home buyers. No down payment, competitive interest rate, flexible guidelines. Where are you at the home buying journey? Daydreaming, looking around, getting serious, ready to squirt.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and speed run this.
Rules, the laws of physics, we're limited by our heartbeat.
All right, so what he's talking about, Yuval Noah Harari, from a biological perspective, nothing is unnatural. Whatever is possible is by definition also natural. A truly unnatural behavior, one that goes against the laws of nature, simply cannot exist, so it would need no prohibition. That sounds like a logical cluster, F.
Like if our heart stops beating, we're dead, game over, right? And that's not up to us. We can't make a functioning oak tree. We can't make a person. Frankenstein's a myth, okay? We're not God, so that means we are under God's rules no matter what. Without eyes, we can't see, and that's why these technocrats keep trying to defy God's laws with their technology, but it just keeps descending.
See, this is the problem with skipping ahead. That's one of the reasons why I try to use as much patience as possible, because he skips around so much that if you just pick one little thing, it almost makes sense. But in the context of it, it usually does not. But we're going to continue this.
It just keeps going lower and lower and lower. In nature, what is possible is if a pedophile tries to touch your kid, you can rip his head off and feed it to pigs. And I live in nature, and that's not a threat. I'm just educating him. If he wants to speak hypothetically about the laws of nature.
All right, so this is an opportunity for you to call me a liar, because I am. I said that we were, and we're not.
Point they're allowed to go onto your property to inspect it, okay? Imaginable. At that point, he can go listen to very grateful. And I've never bought and sold a home for a profit. Department of Agriculture. You know jazz means come, right? And then and he loved that song. Imagine if I wanted to and I still learned that. I think I learned it from my brother. About the ginger. Unbelievable. Is Moonjaz a vet? He's a vet of cum. We'll make up, though. I've always liked Moonjaz. He's always been a good guy to me. I just can't stand when people push high predatory interest rates in my chat. I despise.
Sometimes you make mistakes. One of the things that I try to do is all of these videos are done with one take, except there's some exceptions. For whatever reason, I've had to re-record certain things, but it has been very few and far between. This is all done in one take. I don't pre-watch it and come up with a script or anything. It's purely first reaction, whatever, however he makes me feel. I try to give the most genuine, honest reaction within the realms of what I want to interact in.
Usury. Moonjaz, it's cool. He said, my bad. I'll send some info and the ginger sucks. I love you, Moonjaz. I've always liked you. You know that. I'm not really going to ban you. I fucking can't stand usury. It's slavery. And if you want to get involved in it, I get it. It's fine. Oh, would be nice. You and your Jew money. If you're doing adjustable rate mortgages, I'm going to look it up. A vet of cum, yeah. Now, Moonjaz is legitimately a solid guy. I've been enjoying him for literally years.
He was saying something earlier. He was making an excuse. He said, well, what I'm doing is I'm interacting with the chat. He always interacts with the chat. The perpetual victimness of Owen, the perpetual victimhood of Owen, because he is the perpetual victim. He hits you while he cries out in agony. That's what Owen does. And it's honestly probably part of an art with him, because he has it down to the point where people actually believe him. And it ended with because I still question it. You can't trust anything that Owen does to be sincere or genuine or honest. because that's not who he is as a person. Everything is an act. Everything is a performance. Everything is for a purpose, whether or not it comes across that or not. He is constantly portraying himself as something other than he is. That's one of the reasons why he portrays himself as a man. I didn't mean it to sound like that, but a grown man who has a farm and takes care of his animals and all that kind of stuff. Because if you talk to anyone that has had any kind of interaction with Owen, they don't back it up. And there's a reason why. There's not one person who has come in contact with Owen that is no longer on his payroll that still backs Owen up. And that's a red flag, and it's problematic, especially whenever you consider the whole cult aspect of his existence.
Okay, USDA loans require USDA loans no down payment. USDA loans no down payment. Let's see what we got going on here. This sounds like a mess. I want to buy a home. That's all it says in a giant button. This is made for dumb people. USDA loans for rural and suburban home buyers. No down payment, competitive interest rate, flexible guidelines. Where are you at the home buying journey? Daydreaming? Looking around? Getting serious? Ready to squirt? I'm just daydreaming. Oh, man. Oh, by the way, this isn't the United States Department of Agriculture. This is USDA Inc. This is, okay. How much do you plan on spending on your new home? Let's say $500,000.
Well, I mean, that's worthy of noting because the guy said it was USDA or whatever. It's not the same thing. He just said what he's looking into is not the same thing as the jazz guy, the moon jazz guy, or whoever that was, whether it's a woman or a dude, it doesn't matter. But it's not the same thing, but he's still going with it.
Dollars. New construction? How will you use your new home? Primary residence. Is this your first time purchasing a home? Nope. Do you currently own a home? No, I sold mine. I'm doing it as if I'm Oliver Anthony. No, I have other living arrangements. When are you planning to make your home purchase? Within, let's go 3 to 6 months. I'll let you rub your hands. What's preventing you from buying a home now? Let's see, no down interest. My current lease, housing market, haven't started saving, not ready to commit, haven't started saving. Because we're talking about no interest, right? Active duty military and veterans. Well, Oliver Anthony.
Just because you don't want to pay down interest or whatever doesn't mean that you haven't started saving. Now, I get what he's saying, but this is one of the moments where I want to push past this because it seems like filler. And there's a reason why this one is 3 hours long. I mean, anybody who's watched Owen knows that he doesn't have 3 hours worth of material, so he has to just give into these moments. And that might be one of the biggest problems with him being sincere, because he does feel he has to fill in so much time. And whenever you do that, there's no telling what it's going to come across as or what you're going to end up saying.
Anthony has no military service. How much of a down payment? 0%. How much do you currently have saving for a home? Nothing. Do you have an active account with any of these institutions? I'll say Bank of America. What is your current employment status? Employed. What is your household gross? 30 to 50,000 a year.
Normally with these surveys that they're doing, it says employed or self-employed. And it's interesting that he said employed and not self-employed.
Have you declared bankruptcy in the last 3 years? I'll give Oliver Anthony the benefit of the doubt. No. What is your current credit score? 620.
Oh, so he's pretending as though he's Oliver Anthony, the guy that wrote that song. Okay, this is whenever it gets problematic for me. This is whenever I get antsy. This is whenever I have so many emotions within me where it's just I'm a dude and I'm like, why? I want to say things. I mean, it's just so aggravatingly stupid that he is doing what he's doing right now.
Are you interested in other credit services? Absolutely not. Are you working with a real estate agent? No. Oh, I'm not giving you my fucking zip code. No, I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look up where is Piedmont, Virginia, zip code. 24521. 24521. Piedmont, Virginia. What is your current zip code? Same fucking thing. 24521. What is your email address? Nice try. Moon Jazz, what's your email?
Okay, so whenever he comes out with a new live stream and have the ability to cover it, one of the first things that I look at is how long it is. If it's within an hour and a half, I'm so happy because I can knock that out in a couple of hours if I feel the need to cover the whole thing. This, however, is just a whole lot of filler that is it's just depressing and sad because, I mean, what is it? He's giving all of his time in destroying someone that, or not destroying, just talking mindless crap about someone that wrote a song that went viral. That's literally what this whole thing is about. Somebody wrote an original song, and because Joe Rogan covered it, talked about it, gave glory to God, actually. Joe Rogan did. He said he gave his life to the Lord, and then this happened. And he said it so sincerely. And that's one of the reasons why Owen Benjamin has such a problem with this song. And you better believe sometime in the next 24 to 48 hours, I am going to listen to this song and probably grow to love it just because Owen hates it so much.
You're already hooked up with these sharks. I'm gonna say.
Which, if it's a terrible song, I mean, I don't know. I'm just that. I was half joking with that. But have you ever saw someone either like something or didn't like something, and then you forced yourself to like it, or you gave it enough time to where it actually grew on you? That's what I'm talking about.
Hang on, I'm gonna say deadeyeginger@protonmail.com. deadeyeginger@protonmail.com. Okay. And how many inches is your penis? What is your first name? Moon. Last name Jazz. My name is Moon Jazz. What's the best number? Moon Jazz, you did all this? Can you say I'd rather not? Looks like we need to confirm your phone number. Looks like this is the end of the road. Okay, that's the end of that road. Just for the record, just to let you guys know, this is all bullshit. Don't do any of the things I'm doing right now. Then go to USDA and they will suck your dick for free. Okay, nobody's doing any of that. Only BB can make filling out loan forms hilarious. It's like, how many times have you killed a guy?
Only Owen Benjamin can make filling out loan papers hilarious. I try not to be the person that rains on someone's parade. If you're having a good time, but it blows my mind that somebody listened to that and was like, like they were belly laughing. They were thinking that was funny. It's the bear goggles, man.
Moon Jazz, we're friends again. You can say whatever you want in there. You can even love the ginger. You can love the dead-eyed ginger. They won't give you any info. They just want your contact information. Are you willing to work with a Chinaman or a Grappler? Okay, let's move on. A Nigerian prince is waiting for your call. Is your weenus clipped? If so, how much smegma from 1 to 10? Can you smell it when you...
Verbal pornography. That's all this is. How many times that he refers to the male genitalia or anything of that variety is insane.
Jog? Would this one happen to be a grappler?
While continuously preaching against it or saying that he is the way, he is the truth, that's what he says. I came across a video yesterday, actually. I'm not going to get into that. I think I'm going to do videos on that here in the future. But I'm telling you right now that Owen is not the person to go to if you want to save the children. Not even close. And the hypocrisy that Owen has, the ability to maintain, is troubling, to say the least.
Oh, by the way, blacks are starting to love Trump because he's a criminal. Look at this. So Trump got 3 baby mama, is a scammer, and just got his mugshot. Free him, he the bird black president. So the thing about black culture in America is it's super criminal. And that's why Trump is really going after the black vote, is using crime. This is hilarious. Almost no more white.
That's how it's portrayed in society to a certain point, but that is not black culture. It's not. That's a disingenuous view of black culture. If you've ever lived and worked and maintained relationships with black people in our culture, that's not black culture.
New York City cab drivers, but blacks still can't catch a ride. When blacks are not getting picked up, the driver passing them by are not white racists. They are mostly Indian and or Pakistani men and a few women of color.
I'm not saying that there's no truth to that. I'm just saying, in my experience with the black people that I've ever worked with, been friends with, associated with, communicated with, that is not black culture. It simply is not true, in my perspective.
What gives? What gives? The nicest people, the best treatment a black will get in the world forever will be from white American Christians. They're fucking retarded. Don't get me wrong. Amazing people, but selfless to the point of suicide. Okay? So black people getting mad at white America is a joke. It's the best you'll ever do ever. There is no unity of people of color. In fact, the only...
Did he just give props to white Christians? What is he reading? Almost no more white NYC cab drivers, but blacks still can't catch a ride. When blacks are not getting picked up, the drivers passing them by are not white racists. They are mostly Indian and or Pakistani men and a very few women. Men of color, what gives? By Paul La Rosa, contributor. I'm a journalist, husband, father, and human.
People in the entire world that don't actively discriminate against black people are white Americans. Only people in the entire world. Maybe some British and some gay French. But you think you're going to get picked up by Arabs, by Pakistanis, by Nigerians? No, it's not your color. It's crime rates. Crime rates. And I'm not saying it's all. Let's say only 1% of black people are murderers. It's generous, right? Let's say 1% get the gat in their weight band, right? Why would you pick them up? If the odds are 1 in 100 that they're going to fucking rob you, and the odds of a white guy robbing you is what, 1 in 50,000? Why the hell would anyone pick you up? Unbelievable. It's like people don't have a sense of like, when you're in that dark pyramid, like that upside down world, you can't think straight. You're like, man,
the upside down world. Owen Benjamin projects the upside down world. That's what he is. That's one of the reasons why I say that he is. And see, that's the problem with I did 10 videos and not one of them was communicated to y'all. So I don't remember, I can't differentiate between what I said that y'all have heard and what I've said that y'all haven't heard. And yeah, it's one of those situations. I can't really tell whenever I came to some thoughts. I've said that he is a Luciferian, whether willingly or unwillingly, unknowingly. I don't know if it was in the last 10 or before that. I'm leaning towards that he is a willing Luciferian for numerous reasons, but I'm going to have to revisit that. It was the live stream from Ursa Rio was the last one that I did that y'all didn't get to hear.
Taxi drivers, they don't pick us up because we black.
And it was probably one of the most hypocritical and gayest, and I say that with all due respect, live streams I've ever seen him do.
When was the last time you saw a white taxi driver? Man, no, they're all black or brown. So what the fuck are you talking about? Man, I mean, white people are racist. White Americans are the only people in the world that get offended when you call them racist. The only people in the entire world. If you call a Chinese person a racist, they'd be like, yeah.
I don't get offended when people call me racist. Do you? To those of you listening, if somebody calls you racist, do you get offended? I think it's very beneficial if you don't get offended whenever somebody calls you names or if they label you. Now, if they say something very specific and it hurts your feelings, it's worth listening to. But that's not the same thing as being offended. Being offended is almost like being embarrassed, but on a generic blanket statement level. And I think that's weak.
Hey, black man off movie poster. Dude, they hate Japanese people, and I can't tell them apart. Like, you say, hey, Chinese guy, you're not being very inclusive of Japanese. They're like, oh, that dog don't get to ride in taxi. Oh, dog, I spit on dog. Dude, China, they took Samuel L. Jackson out of...
All right, so I was watching, how far am I? I was watching on, what is it? Spotify. Episode number 1991, Protect Our Parks 8. Now, this is a very vulgar, and I'm laughing because of how excessively vulgar this episode is. Protect Our Parks 8. There's a segment in it where it's just 4 comedians just being what they are. And I'm got leniency towards comedians working out their own jokes and them. I watch these things every once in a while. This came out probably within the last month, and so it's taken me a month to watch it. And so I don't hop on it as soon as it comes out. I watch it whenever I'm feeling being vulnerable, whenever I'm feeling lonely. And I'm like, I want to hang out with some people. That's sad. It is sad to say that, but that's true. And so there was a couple of moments in this live stream where I was like, I would change the channel. I wanted to change the channel, but I was like, it'll pass. And it did pass. And they started talking about other things.
Posters. They literally are like, we now have a black man on poster.
Oh.
Dude,
yeah. I had to remember my train of thought, and it just took less than a second of him. Listen to it. I'm not suggesting this episode. I am 1 hour and 53 minutes into a 2 hour and 32 minute podcast by Joe Rogan, Protect Our Parks 8. It's got Mark Norman, Joe Rogan, Ari Shaffir, and Shane Gillis in it. And there's multiple moments where I was like, okay, let's move past this. But while I was watching this, I couldn't help but think about the continence of their faces, the spirit of which they were talking, whether it was vulgar or not, is nowhere near the hostility, anger, just the negative aspect of Owen Benjamin's live stream. It's almost as though it's night and day. Even whenever they were being more vulgar than I cared to listen to. The difference of the spirit and the attitude.
Go to fucking India. Okay, imagine a black man in India or a white man in India. Like, who do you think they treat better? Let's say it's like, oh, hello, my friend. Would you like to get in my rickshaw? Hello, my friend. Who do you think they'd rather pick up? A white guy? A white American that's like, oh, hi, Barbara, look. Barbara, look, we have a rickshaw over here. They're like, oh, my friend, I wait for you. Come on. And then you got, yo, dog, can I get a rickshaw? They're like, no, full rickshaw. No one wants to pick you up. It's literally a joke. It's a fucking stupid, sick joke. Okay? And I'm not a white supremacist. And people go, oh, damn it, you white supremacist. Literally not. I got a retweet from this black congressman.
He literally is. He literally is a white supremacist. That's one of the reasons why one of the top Owen Benjamin quotes that I've heard in the last 2 or 3 months was, I have literally helped tens of thousands white babies be born, and that deserves some GD respect. And whenever he said GD, he said, God damn. That's what that means. He said, I have literally helped tens of thousands of white babies be born, and that deserves some goddamn respect. And he said it in such a way that it blew my mind, and I couldn't help but think he's definitely losing some people with this one. But I think, in hindsight, that he gained some people because of the hostility, white supremacy that was behind that.
Recently, dude, I've been getting along with some Democrats because I think they're more racially conscious. Like, I think a lot of these like Zionist right wingers are fucking crazy, dude. And I go, I'm not a white supremacist. Not for Twitter, though. Oh, yeah. I go, I'm not a white supremacist. I just don't want to live around people who I think their food smells like shit. And this black congressman was like the crying, laughing thing. It's just a fucking fact. It's like, I'm racially...
I apologize for saying the word GD, but it troubles me whenever I censor myself whenever I quote somebody. And every once in a while, I just have to quote them originally in order to be as sincere as I want to be.
Conscious. I know race exists. I like my race. And some exceptions. Like unfortunately, I do have a few black friends. Why do you have to say unfortunately? Because I'd rather...
He says, hey guys, I'm not a white supremacist. Unfortunately, I have some friends that are not white. What? No, dude, you're crazy, man. Right now, as I'm talking to this phone that's in my hand, realizing that people are going to listen to this, my head is turned to my right, and I'm looking at the other side of my couch. There's no one there, and I'm pretending that Owen Benjamin is there, and he just said what he said.
You know, keep it clean. But there are some black people in the world that...
He said, I'm not a white supremacist. Unfortunately, I do have some friends that are not white. But I'm not a white... Bro, you're sitting on my couch. There's nobody on my couch. You're sitting on my couch. And you just said what you said. Do you not understand how that sounds batshit insane? That sounds crazy. You just said that you're not a white supremacist, but then you followed it up with, unfortunately, I have some. And then you used some weird voice that you call Ira. Do you not understand how crazy that is? No, he does not.
I find to be tremendous human beings. And I would be a bigot if I didn't.
And I just kicked him out of the house. Leave. The answer is no. You're not welcome.
If I didn't accept their high character quality, but I don't like it. I don't think it's like virtuous. I'm like, oh, check out all my friends and the black friend too. Obviously, he's a good guy though. Trust me, he's a good guy. You'll really like this guy. I just don't get. Okay, like let me read some super chats. Like Avi Yamini. This is a perfect example of right wing Zionism. Racist, funny. I've been surrounded by people from other cultures my entire life.
Racist, funny. Let me get the things that I need to read this. Racist, funny. I've been surrounded by people from other cultures my entire life. I'm Yemenite, Russian, Polish, Jew, who has grown up around Australians and who has served in the military under an Arab commander. My best mate is Maori. Another good mate is Aboriginal. And my newest friend, Rukshan, is Sri Lankan. My most trusted cameraman, Benji, whom I take everywhere, is from Hong Kong. My first wife was half Chinese, and I raised her Afro-Brazilian children. My now wife, Rhonda, is a blonde Australian with 2 Muslim kids. I have more diversity every single day than these left-wing extremists have in their entire miserable lives. Who is that? Evi Yemeni. I've never heard of that man, but what's his thing? Azraeli? Avi.
I'm a Yemenite Russian Polish Jew who has grown up around Australians who have served in the military under an Arab commander. My best mate is Maori, another good mate is Aboriginal. And my newest friend, Rukshan, is Sri Lankan. My most trusted cameraman, Benji, whom I take everywhere, is from Hong Kong. My first wife was half Chinese, and I raised her Afro-Brazilian children. And now my wife, Rhonda, is a blonde Australian with 2 Muslim kids. I have more diversity every single day than these left-wing extremists have in their entire miserable lives. That sounds totally insane. And they think it's great. They're like, well, all I see Avi Ramini as is short. He's a short man. People with that.
I have to. I agree with him. It does sound insane to have that many labels on because they're human beings. That's what it is. The only reason to get into those specifics is to prove a point or whatever. But unless you're in war or trying to prove a point, which I mean, kind of still, whatever. In a normal conversation, that would be if I was sitting at a bar, they were at my house and they were like, this, I would be like, why are you throwing so many? Like, I mean, if I specifically asked, then sure. Like, oh, where are they from? What's going on without questions? That sounds like an insane statement.
That amount of diversity in their life are either selling drugs or sucking dick. And if you really read what he says, my first wife was half Chinese and I raised her Afro-Brazilian children. What it should read is, my Chinese, black, Brazilian kids were abandoned by a Jew. My now wife, Rhonda, is a blonde Australian with 2 Muslim kids. How does she have 2 Muslim kids in a Zion?
We're not even an hour into this, and I don't want to listen to this anymore. He has said so many times the things that I detest about him. The verbal pornography, talking. I mean, I'm gonna push through it as much as I can, but I mean, if
his Jew dad, guys, that's insane. I know what this reeks of. Zionism reeks of Luciferianism, of false worship, of worship me, because that's why they love all of the categories. And Trump has this problem too. That's why I almost relate more to Biden at this point, because Biden at least is racist. Of false worship, of worship me, because that's why they love all of the categories. And Trump has this problem too. That's why I almost relate more to Biden at this point, because Biden at least is racist. All right,
one of the things that helps me out, I see comments that say, and I wish that I could respond to more comments. It's just whenever I have time to do this channel, it's I think it's more important to do the actual content than to interact with the comment section at certain points. It's a just balance. I try to just balance that, but whenever I get into the mode of doing videos, that sounds harsh, but I mean, it is what it is. I thoroughly appreciate the comment section. Yeah. I see comments that give me props for maintaining some kind of a just balance or being nice or however it's worded. In this moment, I found myself being upset and being provoked to anger. And then I remember that's one of the things that he does. It's by design. It's one of the reasons why I say that he is Luciferian, is because he wants to upset his audience. One, I think that the spear is to upset. And it helps to divide the audience into categories. Because one, he's either upsetting you to the point where you're going to talk shit about him, where you're going to say that he's horse hockey, or hogwash, all that kind of stuff. Or you're going to get upset and agree with him. And then there's another offshoot of you're just going to be upset and you're just going to be a listener. You're not going to participate, and you might be Well, I've only got some time. I've been listening to you for a couple of years. My life is probably way worse than it should be by now, but it's got some kind of good to it because you did say have some kids, and I ended up having some kids, and you did say like own some land, and I do own some land, not like anybody else has ever said that in reality. But remembering he is a provocateur, realizing that he is a provocateur, he has designed himself to just piss people off. It's almost a litmus test of sorts. Now, do I think it's by design? No, I don't give him enough credit to actually say, like, sit down and like he sat down and this is what I'm going to do. I don't think that it's by design. I don't think that he intentionally does this. I think it just works out for him that way, and he doesn't really understand it. And that's one of the reasons why he is as sloppy as he is because he does not understand that he is a provocateur, and there is divisions in his listeners. And that's one of the reasons why he used to ban as many people as he used to, and now he does not, is because he is slowly learning, I can't ban everybody because I'll have nobody. Because he felt he had nobody a couple months ago.
As well. Like, this to me sounds like hell. It's like, I walked to the supermarket with my Maori friend, my Aboriginal friend, a Muslim Jew, an Arab, Black, Chinese, Afro child, a Muslim, Sri Lankan, Australian, Bangladeshi. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? He's like, you're telling me I don't like sports? I play football with a ballerina, a jazz pianist, the moon. It's like, dude, what? Yeah, human trafficking, exactly. Because they want worship. Worship me, right? That's the inner thing. So if you plan on being the Luciferian overlord of the world, you better get really, really excited about all kinds of people. How the fuck does someone without any boundaries, like this guy has no boundaries, how is he anti-gay? He's not, obviously. It's like, this is the same psychotic mentality of like, Elle and Jean, my best friend is a lesbian, and her girlfriend is a gay bisexual pedophile who likes to get fucked in the ass by a Doberman Pinscher, but my other friend is a heterosexual, but...
None of what he just said, literally what he just said, the whole lesbian, mad, bisexual, getting penetrated by dogs or whatever mess that is. It's so hard to repeat him because he speaks in such a retarded way that logically it's just hard to put those words in line the same way that he did. It's like learning gibberish. But what he just said is just, it's made up. It was originated in his head and in his heart, and he just said that. What he said had no reality. It's not based in reality. And so where did it come from? From his heart, from his mind. That is the essence of Owen Benjamin, the cult leader, the failed Hollywood comedian. What he just said.
It's like, this is the same psychotic mentality of like, Elle and Jean, my best friend is a lesbian, and her girlfriend is a gay bisexual pedophile who likes to get fucked in the ass by a Doberman Pinscher, but my other friend is a heterosexual, but really likes to suck on a lollipop while getting punched in the face by a Maoran tribesman. It's like, what?
He has a lollipop inside of his coat jacket. What proof? What other proof do you need? I mean, what is going on here? I have no idea. There's not a reality where what he just said was a display of reality. Like, there's no reality where that was a reflection of truth in his life. It was all a reflection of his heart and his mind. And then to say the lollipop thing, his coat jacket on the inside literally has lollipops in it. That one, I can't think of the name.
What is wrong with you, dude?
Taylor Bear.
And that's insane. That's just insanity.
It is clear insanity. This whole entire situation. This was the live stream from today, from Monday. I say today, today's Tuesday, yesterday. This is the live stream from yesterday. And then there is going to be a gathering of cult members in Texas County, Missouri. No correlation, no relation to the Texas Go Radio Show. But in Texas County, Missouri, there's going to be a gathering of this cult. All revolved around the Bertaria cult. Owen Benjamin, the cult leader. The blasphemous, pathetic, dangerous, predatory cult leader, Owen Benjamin. Coming up this weekend.
Okay. And then you have, of course, Spiked Protein here. I think he's like running for Congress. He goes, it was also my understanding at some point that puberty blockers were fully reversible. I have since discovered that's not even close to the case. Sorry. When I tweeted that, lots of information was brought to my attention. I realized I was misinformed. Okay, I wasn't misinformed. I was right.
All right, so what did they actually say read by someone that's not mentally retarded? Spike Cohen said, it was also my understanding at some point that puberty blockers were fully reversible. I've since discovered that's not even close to being the case, especially after years of use. When I tweeted that, lots of information was brought to my attention, and I realized I was misinformed and wrong on the subject. Okay, so he's sitting here mocking this growth of someone that used to back something.
At some point, the puberty blockers were fully reversed. Just insanity. Okay. And then you have, of course, Spiked Protein here. I think he's like running for Congress. He goes, it was also my understanding at some point that puberty blockers were fully reversible. I've since discovered that's not even close to the case. Sorry. When I tweeted that, lots of information was brought to my attention, and I realized I was misinformed. Okay, I wasn't misinformed. I was right. When I was tweeting about puberty blockers literally sterilizing children, it's beyond child abuse. It's one of the purest forms of eugenics.
All right. No matter how right he is in this moment, he is entirely wrong. Because one of the biggest mistakes anybody can make is making someone feel stupid or not appreciated for changing their mind. And that's one of the reasons why I do these videos with the grace and mercy that I have, is because I still have hope. No matter what anybody says, and I say no matter what anyone says, within reason, I still have hope. And the condemnation, the outright disrespect that he has for this person changing their mind for whatever reason, it doesn't matter. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to grow. And me saying mercy triumphs over judgment, that also goes for Owen Benjamin. There's a lot of people out there that don't agree with that. And I do. I get it. I understand, man. I do. There's a reason why I don't talk to certain people, you know? It's because, I mean, it's just the same thing over and over and over again, but whatever. You know, that's just the way life is. But mercy triumphing over judgment is an important aspect of the reality of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. And him being this crappy about someone saying, hey, I used to believe this, but I don't believe it anymore. He's like, no, I was right. Whenever I wasn't wrong back then. There were so many images going through my head that I'm not going to verbalize because that is not appropriate. It's not grown up. It's not beneficial. It'd make me feel good in the moment. But anybody that's ever acted out in anger and it immediately made you feel good, and then later on you calm down, you're like, well, I probably shouldn't have done that. That's called growth. This is gross, not growth. How he's acting right now.
I've ever seen. And I'm sure Cohen here loves it. Okay? I was kicked off Twitter, kicked off Facebook. My agent dropped me. My manager dropped me. I was
Perpetual victim, Owen Benjamin, telling you everything that he ever did that is his fault because, 147 IQ didn't know how to shut his freaking mouth and utilize the tools that he had at hand. None of it makes any sense whenever you actually put it on the table and connect the dots. 147 IQ, I'm a genius. I'm smarter than all of y'all. But I was too stupid to actually navigate the reality of this situation called the internet. No, man, you can't have your cake and eat it too, which is a stupid saying. You should be able to have your cake and eat it too. That's one of the reasons for hope, man. It's just, I feel like it's my duty to call horse hockey whenever I see if I see horses on a field playing hockey, I'm gonna tell Bane. I'm gonna wake Mr. Toad up and be like, "Hey, Mr. Toad, there's horses playing hockey." Now that was exaggerated because I'm not. If I literally saw horses playing hockey, I would, but I'm not gonna wake him up just because Owen Benjamin is being Owen Benjamin, which is horse hockey.
allowed in comedy clubs. I was kicked off online banking. Yay!
This is a guy saying, "Hey, no, I was kicked out of the entertainment industry for being too real." That's not a new. That's not new. No, you haven't, because in the entertainment industry, if you draw a crowd, you still make money. That's how the entertainment industry runs. If you draw a crowd, there's always somebody out there to back you. That's how you know for sure that this dude is full of horse hockey. That's one of the reasons why you know that you should say no to Owen Benjamin, is because it doesn't make sense. People in the entertainment industry, they have money and they're willing to spend money to make money. And if you can draw a crowd, they will use you. They will back you.
Meanwhile, this guy, his error sterilized kids. And he's like, sorry guys, I'm a Jew though, so we had the Holocaust though. Everyone back up because I'm still a victim. I'm still the victim, no matter what. Oopsies.
He's talking for himself right now. And this might very well be probably one of the most honest interpretations of Owen Benjamin by Owen Benjamin.
Oops. And then you have some more.
Let's listen.
Guys, I'm a Jew though, so we had the Holocaust though. Everyone back up because I'm still a victim. I'm still the victim, no matter what. Oopsies. Oops. And then you have some more little J's here. This is Yuval Noah Harari. From a biological perspective, nothing is unnatural. Whatever is possible is by definition also natural. A truly unnatural behavior.
Oh my, all right. From a biological perspective, nothing is unnatural. Whatever is possible is by definition also natural. A truly unnatural behavior, one that goes against the laws of nature, simply cannot exist, so it would need no prohibition. I think that's a cluster F of a logical thing going on. Anyways, I'm gonna have to end this because this is it's melting my mind at this moment, and there's no reason for me to put myself through this, and so therefore I'm not going to. I appreciate you listening. If you have not liked it, please like it. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. I do believe that it's important for me to do what I'm doing because I am calling Owen Benjamin out for the predatorial cult leader that he is. And with the upcoming weekend's events, it's just all that more important. And glory to God, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. This is the Texas Goat Radio Show. I am your host, Pretorius. As always, till next time.